There is hardly any decent voice in the House against you for any of your policies.
Last month, this document circulated on social media and I made a video about it. Unsurprisingly, the government denied it. The National Assembly also came out to debunk the document. The document is a draft to amend the 1999 Constitution. It contains so many clauses, but the most interesting of all is to return Nigeria back to regional government. There was also a clause for self-determination, referendum, and changing the term of office for the president from 2 terms of 4 years to 2 terms of 6 years. Many analysts who studied the document said the document was poorly drafted and won't be submitted to the National Assembly, where the real drafter of the document has been uncovered. His name is Dr. Akin Fapowunda. He has been clamoring for a change of system in Nigeria, like scrapping the presidential system of government, reintroduction of the parliamentary system, return to unicameral legislature, restructuring, self-determination. He has been granting interviews on Punch, Daily Trust, and he spoke on the need to change the constitution. He drafted a constitution that floated online, and now he has decided to submit it to the executive arm of government so they can forward it to the legislature arm for upward review and approval. Let's take a listen to him. Credit to Nigeria Info.
Dr. Faponda, how will this regional government work? I mean, is it that you have a prime minister? You know, how many regions are you advocating for?
Nigerians, we cannot afford 36 states anymore. These types were created by fiat. Can we discuss? It's like you're living in a 5-bedroom mansion with all rooms and suites, but you have no job anymore. You have to move to a 1-bedroom apartment unless you be in debt. So when we inform Nigerians that, look, we cannot continue like this, we need to reaggregate the country and reduce the number of political entities to a reasonable number. It could be 6, it could be 9, it could be 12. But the instruction will be that every region must be able to live on its own resources. There is no question of sharing crude oil from Niger Delta anymore. And in my document, there's a 3-year transition.
You heard him talk about the 3-year transition. This is where the main discussion lies. What he's talking about is that the people in the executive position, the current people in the executive position, they will benefit from the new system if it's being passed into law. That is, the governors, the president, their current tenure of 4 years will not count when the bill is passed into law. With this proposed bill, Nigeria will move from the presidential system of government back to the parliamentary system of government. I use the word back to the parliamentary system of government because that was what was in place after we got independence. The parliamentary system of government was practiced just in the First Republic with Shehu Shagari as the Prime Minister and Nnamdi Azikiwe as the President. The function of the President is just merely ceremonial. This system was changed after the Civil War and the subsequent military regime to the presidential system of government, which is a copycat of the United States of America system of government. The regional bill they are proposing is modeled after the South African system of government. In South Africa, just like the current election that is currently going on, the one that you're experiencing, they vote for the parliamentarians. They don't vote for the president directly like we do here in Nigeria. When the parliamentarians are elected, they will not elect the president. Therefore, if this constitutional amendment succeeds, it will take the power to vote from the president away from the citizen and hand it over to the parliamentarians. That means you will no longer vote for Peter Obi or Atiku Abubakar or Bola Ahmed Tinubu as your president. That will be left to the parliamentarians. Now, a lot of persons are of the opinion that the constitutional amendment will be very difficult these days because of several precedents that is being set by the judiciary. However, to change the constitution, it requires 2/3 of the National Assembly before it becomes law. Many people have agreed that this will be easily achieved with this current crop of National Assembly members who are being controlled by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. For the fact that Tinubu controlled the National Assembly, amending the constitution will not end on the floor of the National Assembly. It will have to go to the State House of Assembly, where there is a catch. They are now looking at repealing the decree that set up the 1999 constitution. Majority of the articles in the 1999 constitutions were decrees that were made by the military regime. When the military handed over power to the civilian government, all the decrees of the military became acts of the National Assembly. Since this decree became act of the National Assembly, it means that the same National Assembly can amend or repair those acts. You see why it's possible to amend the constitution? Since the National Assembly and even the judiciary is loyal to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the decrees can be easily repaired and the constitution amended. And if this is done, it will make Tinubu stay in power for 16 years. The proposed draft for the constitutional amendment stipulates to terms of 6 years, that is 12 years, plus the current 4 years of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that is 16 years. Now, some persons have argued that a clause will be inserted into the new constitution, preventing the current political office holder from benefiting or contesting in the next election, or even running for more than one term, where if this bill is accepted by Tinubu and the National Assembly approve it, which they will, you definitely know that it will be to further Bola Ahmed Tinubu political ambition. Now, there is also the proposal of the regional system of government in this bill, and this is very good. This system of government is being practiced by many developed countries all over the world. Nigerians deserve it. If this is achieved, it will honk out those parasitic states that we currently have, states that don't contribute anything to the economy but benefit largely from the wealth of other states. For instance, some northern states banned the sale of alcoholic beverages, and they even went as far as destroying beverages in their state, but they benefit from the revenue of alcoholic beverages gotten from other states. Regionalism will eradicate this system of government. It will eradicate all the states that depends on other states for their survival and revenue. The advantage of regionalism far outweighs the disadvantage, if actually there is any disadvantage in regionalism. But Nigerians must resist this. The reason is because the bill will be presented as an executive bill to the National Assembly. This means that the bill will get speedy passage by the National Assembly. No executive bill from Bola Ahmed Tinubu has ever been rejected by this current crop of National Assembly members. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, where all the bills from the President is being deliberated upon, has assured the President that every bill that comes to the floor of the National Assembly will get speedy passage. Listen to him.
So far, so good, Your Excellency. The House is very supportive of you. The House loves you very well. There is hardly any decent voice in the House today and yesterday against you for any of your policies. The House has always been supportive of what you bring, and we shall continue to strive in ensuring that we operate as one, the executive and the legislature together. We want to ensure that whatever you bring will see the light of the day, both in the House of Representatives and in the Senate. You can see an example of the acid taste of members' support and solidarity. Just within the last 3-4 days, about 3 bills came from the Presidency, and they were all expected to be treated expeditiously. And the House and the Senate do not relent, Your Excellency, in ensuring that we deliver a miracle, because what we did is just short of being called a miracle. Delivering bills within 48 hours is not an easy task, but that is exactly what the National Assembly did because of the sheer respect it has on you. So this is what we want to continue. This is what we want to sustain in the months and years to come.
So you see what I'm talking about? That means if this bill gets to Bola Ahmed Tinubu and he send it to the National Assembly, then it's as good as done. So Nigerians should resist it by focusing on the National Assembly to do 2 things. Now, one of the things that the National Assembly need to do in that bill is to reduce the tenure from the proposed 2 terms of 6 years to a single tenure of maybe 5 or 6 years. Or they should disqualify existing elective office holders to be ineligible from benefiting from the amended constitution. because it is selfish for someone to be in office and amend the constitution and still benefit from the amended constitution. It means the constitution was amended for his personal gain. Amending the constitution should be for national interest. It's to be to promote peaceful coexistence, harmony, unity in Nigeria. Now, another interesting clause in the proposed constitutional amendment is the addition of self-determination. Now, this is an interesting addition because it's currently missing in our current constitution. This means any region can peacefully succeed or leave the nation if they are no longer comfortable in the nation Nigeria without being threatened or killed, like what we experienced in the 1967 when the Biafra left Nigeria. Obafemi Awolowo has severally tried to include that in our constitution, but it was resisted by Nnamdi Azikiwe and others. Now I'm particularly interested in this clause. There has been a lot of clamor from different regions to leave Nigeria. The clamoring for self-determination is not only limited to the eastern region or Biafra. As far back as 1961, the Niger Delta Republic agitation was clamored. This was led by Isaac Adakaboro. You know of Biafra Republic. Today, we have the Middle Belt, we have the Oduduwa Republic. Maybe you are not aware. The North also clamored to leave Nigeria with their slogan, Araba, meaning let's divide. All this clamor is due to dissatisfaction. People are tired of this country. They have given their all, their best, and yet nothing is happening. They troop out en masse in their millions to vote in the last election to change the system. But the power that be rigged them out. They've taken over power, they've taken over the leadership position, and they have made the situation worse. The leadership failure in this country is what is fueling the dissatisfaction in this country, and people are clamoring to leave this country called Nigeria. But if Nigeria is working the way it's meant to be, you will see peace and harmony. The people will be happy, they will be patriotic, they will be loyal to the country, and they will work more to better the country. You will see love and pride of self-belonging. People will be proud to identify with the country Nigeria. All this tribal war you see online will disappear, because I'm tired of all this tribal war you see online. If the system is working, even in the regional government, people's attention will be shifted from the president to the regional government. They will hold their regional government accountable. Unlike the presidential system of government, where the wealth is being controlled largely by the president and distributed disproportionately to the point that those who contribute nothing get more than those who contribute more. Regionalism will see equal distribution and the management of the nation's resources. Every region will control their own resources. It will no longer be the case of monkey they walk, bamboo they chop. This uneven distribution of resources is one of the major reasons why people want to succeed from Nigeria. They want to control and manage their resources by themselves. Whatever the case is, in the coming days we are going to see events unfold regarding the proposed constitutional amendment. Thank you for listening. I will see you in the next video.